Hello, guys. You're welcome to the Minority Report Nigeria. I am Chidozie.
And I'm Walter.
And today we will be talking about something that is, well, as usual, sadly, really exasperating and something we wish we didn't still have to talk about.
Still didn't have to debate.
I know. So a couple of days ago, there was a party somewhere in Egbeda, and security operatives went there, raided, and arrested the party goers under the pretext that they had information that these people were gay.
So this happens, and everyone by now who has ever been involved, whether peripherally or actively, in the NSAS movement already knows the person who started the movement. His name is Shego Awosoyan. He goes by Shega Links on Twitter. And this guy has been very
Vocal.
He has been very vocal in the issues of police brutality and police harassment and SARS and all that. You know, the excesses that the police, the uniformed people take when it comes to the rights of Nigerians as human beings. And it has always been, I think he has always taken this dogged approach to come at it, because it's a given. It is very rare to come to cases where in cases involving arrest you take it for granted that, like, it's a for good conclusion that there was always something excessive involved in an arrest. It's standard for, it's sad, but it's standard for the Nigerian police. And but in previous issues of police brutality that has been reported online, he has always taken this offensive. This civil rights activist, Mr. Shigman, has always taken this offensive when it comes to police brutality cases online. But then this happens. A few days ago, when there was a party that some police people invaded and arrested the guys who were in attendance of the party, he comes on Twitter to tweet the following things. It's a thread, so it's a read. He was somebody came online to protest that he was arrested in the party, and that I think he tweeted at Shego to get him out and all that. That he's a straight guy who has a girlfriend who just attended the party and didn't know it was supposed to be a gay party. Well, let's just let that settle for a bit. So now Shega Links now tweeted at him that we're following the scene. I have reached out to your brother. He will let us know when you are back at the weather, so we can speak to the head of the kidnap gang. This is definitely not policing. In this case, there is an illusion that this was an unfair arrest. And he goes on to tweet, taking the facts of the case into consideration, there was a report of a boisterous gay party in the weather area. As you know, police are meant to uphold and enforce the law. The party was raided and suspects undergoing processing under the directive of the CP. Our lawyer is on ground. We have gotten with the area commander and contacted the CP. The complainant in the tweets didn't know he attended a gay parent until moments ago. He is straight with the girlfriend to back his claim and void of suspicious mannerism. The law of the land is what it is, and the police have to enforce it. We won't let anyone's rights be abused, and at the same time won't obstruct officers from doing what is necessary. Citizens must be wary that Nigeria is not yet US, where this kind of culture is allowed. We have reports that this community are now harassing police officers, soliciting for flames, and resorting to blackmail when reprimanded. In as much as we all know the law, it is safe for us to abide by it. Whatever it is you believe in is right for you must not be enforced on others. In as much as I believe we all have rights as humans and citizens, our preferences on other matters that conflict with the current law of the land should be treated cautiously. If you need to push for a legislation to do so, you do so, but don't approach this sentimentally with law enforcers. Those who will choose to begin an unconscionable tirade are based on this clarification that is void of prejudice will be blocked instantly. We come to the aid of citizens regardless of what they ate for breakfast or what or who they choose to worship. Avoid the drama here. There is no such thing as permitted by law as LGBT community in Nigeria. If it exists illegally, you people have a lot of work to do in getting the appropriate legislation to make it legit. Until then, please be on the right side of history and obey the laws of the land. What will be hypocrisy if we fight against police acting outside the law of the land and encourage other sects or groups operate outside the law and culture of Nigeria, thus making policing difficult. Let us be sensitive and lawful. No one will violate our civil rights under the law. And well, it's just there's so much to unpack from these.
Couple of things. It's always interesting to me how Nigeria becomes a monolith with a culture. Nigeria, what the heck? What for fuck's sake is the Nigerian culture? They're like,
it's the Nigerian culture has. It's interesting how Nigerian culture becomes something, a force to be reckoned with when it needs to enforce some sort of citizen superiority over another person, another citizen, like when it forces some sort of classism.
Yeah, and here's why it's so ridiculous. The distinction he's making, like, you know, which the framing of his entire thread is just really annoying, because he frames it in such a way that this way people, for starters, what is a boisterous gay party? Like, how can you tell? There were a lot of words that were just flung about, very nebulous words. Suspicious mannerisms. What does suspicious mannerisms mean?
Like,
processing. What do they mean by all these words that are not defined?
My outrage, Jose, comes majorly from this particular tweet. We have reports that this community are now harassing police officers, soliciting for flings, and resorting to blackmail when reprimanded.
Soliciting for flings, like you just.
These three factors that apparently seem to give the LGBT community in Nigeria some sort of power over the police in Nigeria. For someone who is intimately aware of the brutality in the police force, it makes no sense.
Now this is suddenly processed. In this case, they are being processed. We're not going to call it torture, which is what it is, to get people to confess.
Somehow the LGBT community are harassing police officers. Jesus, when we were talking about the NSAS program, why didn't you just say, you know what, hire LGBT people, they can harass the police officers, let them harass the SARS people into silence? Why didn't we do that? Why were we looking for the government to do something when we could hire?
Now suddenly we are taking the words of police officers seriously because they are the epitome of honesty and transparency.
Because apparently it is them who gave this report.
They are the ones
they are the ones who supplied this report saying that they are being harassed by the LGBT. Soliciting for flings.
What does that mean?
What exactly?
Soliciting for flings, like
for someone who these tweets are just hilarious. And resorting to blackmail when reprimanded. First of all, the police reprimands. Really? Since when did they start reprimanding? Unless that's what we're calling beating and
extortion.
Yeah, that's what
blackmail,
that's what reprimand now stands for. You get? So now here's the focus of this particular episode. This is how this activist, the civil rights activist, has neatly separated the concerns of the general public from the LGBT.
Which is no surprise. People. You know, you order it in order to, like, basically what he said is they are citizens and then they are criminals. So if you are LGBT, you're a criminal, so we are not interested in you.
I remember informing in previous tweets when this NSAS thing was raging, and a lot of people were always pushing, telling their stories about how they are wrongfully arrested, how they are just stopped and searched and abused and all that kind of stuff. And he was very, active in retweeting tweets and pushing for the recognition of the rights to privacy and all that. But somehow, the LGBT community, when it gets to them, they don't deserve that kind of consideration. I don't get this. I don't understand. When they say, whenever this issue about the LGBT comes up, it always tends to make it seem like LGBT rights are special rights. They are these rights that are just, well, you know what, there is an hierarchy. First we'll talk about human rights, then we can talk about you people and your rights. It's just like in when this outrageous video that made the rounds a while ago, when AY, the comedian, was doing a skit on stage, and he said something about how all you LGBT, all you gay people that are always talking about your rights, your rights, your rights. Shut up! You don't have any rights. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing it, but basically, yes, he was telling gay people that they don't have any rights. I don't understand. It's all. It comes back to this point where people think that gay rights are just special. They are not. They are human rights. They are the same.
Or to be accurate, they think it's not even worthy of consideration because it shouldn't even factor. Because if you say special, it can be read as something being, an exceptional situation, which would sort of suggest that this needs special deliberation. But the point of all this is they don't even want to engage at all. This is not even worth our consideration because this is basically LGBT people are less than. That's what all of this comes down to. Like, they are not worthy of the same considerations.
It's very, very insensitive and, sort of naive of him where he says something about how the LGBT people need to make create a difference, they need to start the legislation. I'm not even involved in the I don't know governments very much. Like I didn't do government in secondary school. I don't follow these things, but even I know that is just naive. But
disingenuous actually, because he knows better. That is willful ignorance. Like he definitely knows better than that nonsense he said.
But yeah, we do need to have a legislation going for the correction of all these wrongful, things that abuse people's human rights, including the LGBT community. Such a legislation needs to happen. Such an attention on the plights of this community needs to be focused on the legislative arm and of the government. That law, the SSMPA,
needs to be repealed.
It needs to be revisited. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be explored. It comes to we were just recently we saw a video that was
viral.
All these it was viral
on the couch with files.
All these on the couch videos they have been illuminating. Like really, it's a brilliant initiative to let you Nigerians know the crop of people who want
meet the people who actually want to represent you, like run for the highest in the land, the president.
Exactly.
See.
And the one we saw recently was of former Cross River State Governor.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah, Donald Duke. It was very illuminating. The interview. He talked about he
did touch on LGBT rights. His stance wasn't much different from those of other people. Like, I will not criminalize. Doesn't say much about what you would do to the criminalization that already exists. But it was interesting to me that he did engage with the topic. He did engage with the conversation, and it was also really interesting to me that of all the people who had been interviewed, was the only person who didn't bring up religion. And I think that's telling, because with everybody else it was my religion says, which is incredible. If you are aspiring to be the president of a country, that is the presence of millions of people with different backgrounds, different tongues, different languages, different religions, saying something like my religion should be manifestly stupid.
It should not be part of your presidency. You are representing
everybody.
Nation.
Like, it's a complex entity. What your religion tells you should govern just you. People need to realize that they are separate from the office of the president. Like, you die, that office still remains. It has a different personality, juristic personality. It has a separate personality from the person who occupies it.
It's something Nigerians haven't really gotten.
Do not get.
Never really gotten that.
So yeah, and there was the guy before him, Subomi Okeowo, I'm probably butchering his name, when he said the most ridiculous thing ever, that when he was asked about the marginalization of women, Uncle was actually like he was really obtuse. He was shocked. Oh, women are marginalized. Like
Like-
seriously?
When that he dropped out from the presidential bid, I was like, the shame must have been very monumental.
How did you even get there in the first place? Because he could not answer a single question with anything resembling intelligence to begin with. He was just all over the place. I think the most articulate so far has been Donald Duke. He has been very clear about, like, it's not he's not selling us, MMM. When I get there, I will. He actually has plans, like step by step. We do this. If we do this, we can achieve this. If we achieve this, we can do this. And this is, for me, so far, I haven't been as impressed by any other candidates. I guess we will be seeing more of them as time goes by. But he was engaged, and that was interesting to see for me. And more so, I feel like, the LGBT community, even though Mr. Sam, or whatever his name, thinks he says the LGBT community cannot exist. Anyways, I think the LGBT community should be more engaged politically, because I honestly think with everything happening, there is no room to be aloof. The more we stay out of these conversations, the more we'd have people making decisions affecting us who do not even think we deserve the considerations.
It's the same thing about the exhortation has been going on for a while, where women were told to be more politically active, to engage more, to push for more answers, to push for more accountability with the government, and they have been doing that. There have been stories of instances of women who are going into politics and who are like pushing for change for the average woman. It's the same thing with the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Yes, they do say that, and this actually goes out for both those who are capable of being politically very active, and those who are already in the politics, in the game. There has to be, it has come to the point where there has to be this consciousness that you cannot just sit by and let things that affect people, let them just happen, let them fall, let the chips fall whichever way it plays. It's not, there has to be like a push.
Yes.
A push that, so that the narrative can no longer be that these people are just there.
Exactly, because this is what they say all the time. Like, you need to push for a change in legislation and something. So that there is real need for real organization.
But this is just for every Nigerian out there. We have been seeing these interviews. We have been seeing these presidential candidates coming through. We have been seeing them, hearing them say the things that they say. They have been outraged all over online, outside, in conversations. People are seeing the people that are coming to us. And yes, this is very naive. I know that, saying please make your vote count, go out there and get a PVC. It's a naive thing to say, but it's, at the same time, it's, if we take it more seriously, that the power lies in what we do, and in that thing that you do, I don't know how it's, we need to focus on the fact that people, this is a chance to put someone in office, or the chance, one of the first steps of the chance that leads to the chance to finally make a presidency, a leadership of someone who goes there knowing what he wants to do, who actually knows what he's going to do when he gets there. And these people, these leaderships we get, they don't come to us as a shock, really. We know these things before they get up there, and then suddenly they go out there and they start misbehaving, and we're like, oh my god, we didn't know this was going to happen. And we always know, because these people, they don't drop on us like a bomb. They leave breadcrumbs leading to steps to that seat.
And I think it's interesting, like the way we harp on voting. I find it weird, because I personally think it's more important to get people who've already been voted. It's to do the jobs for which they have been voted, rather than waiting every 4 years. But I think where we are right now, like we are at the cusp of an election, a major, presidential election. So it's really important that we engage, no matter how disillusioned we are with the Nigerian system. It's really important that we engage. But more than that, even beyond the election, there should be room for organization beyond the election. It has gone to the point where we have to start to have honest and real conversations about how to make our leaders accountable. The people we actually vote into power, how do we hold them accountable to the promises that they make on the campaign trail? So these are things we need to start concentrating on. And the place to start, I feel, considering the timing, is with the forthcoming elections.
So yeah, try get the PVC. I know it's this frustration going on.
Oh God, it is frustrating.
People to get their voters card, but go out there, get yours, and take the decision of Nigeria's future in your hand and vote.
So that's it on today's episode.
Yeah.
Until we come away next time on Cheat Is You. And we are tired.
Bye.